for Banking and Finance. These are our group members. In this presentation, we will be referring to the CIMB Bank as our bank of choice. We host savings account. Savings accounts are generally made with the purpose to set aside currently unused money to save it for later use. It also has a level of interest per annum allocated to customers who open the account depending on the amount of deposit. We have chosen the basic savings accounts to look at. The requirements of opening a basic savings account are be either Malaysian or permanent resident, provide their NRIC and latest utility bill to confirm their address, and lastly is to deposit at least 20 ringgit into the basic savings account. After fulfilling these requirements, the customer can complete an online form and go to the bank to authenticate and finish the process. CIMB Bank is the second largest bank in Malaysia and therefore are in a better position to provide more competitive interest rate than their competitors. For example, CIMB Bank, for a deposit of 300,000 ringgit, provides 0.80% per annum interest rate compared to Maybank's 0.3% and Public Bank's 0.25%, which is more than double. Basic saving account interest rates in CIMB Bank uses tiered interest rates with different interest for different amounts of deposit. You can see the details in the diagram provided. Moving on to CIMB's customer services and after-sales service, CIMB Bank provides excellent customer service and after-sales service for customers with savings account. This is as if they have set out 4 clear standards to achieve different objectives to guide employees to better serve customers. The first standard is to focus on building trust. This is to enable CIMB to understand and anticipate the customer's needs and preferences and therefore recommend products and services accordingly. For example, every employee of CIMB Bank is trained to have sufficient knowledge to be able to advise and assist customers. Secondly, the second standard is about reliability. It aims to have timely and efficient service for customers. CIMB Bank set the expectation for the time taken for the savings account and it is available on their official website. The application of the savings account is expected to take within 15 minutes after the full documents and information are received. Thirdly, the third standard, engagement, hopes to strike a good first impression to customers through the emphasis on top-grade customer service, where the employees are trained to pay close attention to customers that walk into the bank and serve them to the best of their abilities. Lastly, the fourth standard, accessibility, is achieved through providing a variety of information channels such as brochures, contact centers, and websites to allow customers to always be able to clarify their doubts about CIMB Bank. CIMB Bank can improve their customer services by enhancing self-service terminals like internet banking. This is because customers nowadays are more willing to resolve the issues on their own before contacting the live customer service representative. So, CIMB Bank should include detailed self-service support for customers to refer to when they try to solve the issues. All information and details of products and services of CIMB Bank should also be made available to customers on internet banking. This should allow customers to set up security alerts any time of a withdrawal or any suspicious transaction is done on their account. Next, I'll pass on to Caleb to talk about the subsequent parts.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Now I'll explain about part 1D, which is preventive measures. So CIMB Bank can consider advancing their technology through hiring IT programmers to create a security app. The security system will detect and examine the threshold set by the bank for each customer according to their personal portfolio, where if the deposit by customer has passed the threshold, it will flag the transaction and notify the bank so that an investigation can be done. Secondly, this also connects to the second point where the customer's portfolio can be integrated with the account, where if the customer is known for having a history of doing small deposits, a sudden large deposit will be detected as abnormal and automatically highlighted. Next. For part 1E, we will discuss on CIMB strategies to increase the branch's deposits. So the first step is to create a successful mobile presence through the CIMB Clicks mobile app. Secondly, it is through using stories and high service quality to stand out and impress customers and build loyalty. Thirdly, maximizing online presence, such as getting a good rating on Google, and My Business to improve the bank's reputation and credibility. And the fourth one, as an additional consideration, without all the previous online ventures, the customers will be more reliant on personal service on bank staff, increasing pressure on the staff. Next. Next, we'll discuss on the business sector we recommend to branch managers for focusing lending during and after the pandemic of COVID-19. Our group chose the tourism industry. This is because the tourism industry in Malaysia is the third largest contributor to the country's economy, and they are currently showing signs of recovery. Both direct and indirect links to a variety of different economic sectors, for example, hotel industry, hospitality industry, and transport industry. The tourism and travel business has been particularly hard hit by low demand induced by limits during the MCO, CMCO, and RMCO in Malaysia. Therefore, banks should lend money to these industries as they are starting to recover and are in need of loans and are promising in light of giving back future financial benefits to the bank. Yet, they attempted to recover by developing certain tactics and plans. The tourism industry is a potential business sector that can recover quickly from the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, this ensures that it is a wise decision for the bank to lend money to the tourism industry for both a stronger reputation of lending to a recovering industry and still reaping interest at a relatively low risk. Next, I'll leave it to Derek to explain about part 2.
Okay, thank you, Carrot. Now we are going to talk about part 2, the case for Miss Liang Lui and Dato' Boh Hong. There are a few things to note in this case before proceeding. Dato' Boh Hong applied for an overdraft facility worth 1.2 million. Miss Liang Lui is a credit officer and has previous dealing with Dato' Boh Hong. He gave Miss Liang Lui a 24-karat gold bracelet for her birthday and also a birthday card with private message to her. In the birthday card, Dato' Boh Hong compliment Miss Liang Lui as well as remind Miss Liang Lui to hasten the process of applying for the overdraft. For Part 2A, we shall refer to BAFIA 1989, Section 115, Part 1, A and B. Miss Liang Lui by law is prohibited from accepting gifts or items of value by Dato' Boh Hong, so as long as gifts were given with the intention of getting benefits, with closer inspection. In this case, the compliments and gifts were given by Dato' Boh Hong had to favorably influence the application process for bank overdraft of 1.2 million. Thus, if she accepts the gifts, she would have committed a crime and may lose her career or worse. Thus, it is advisable to return the gifts to Dato' Boh Hong. If Miss Liang Lui instead receives a lunch or dinner request, Miss Liang Lui can accept the meal as a return gift if the gift is just a gratitude from Dato' Boh Hong, as it would not be recognized as an indication of bribery or illegal behavior that will breach BAFIA 1989 Section 115. However, it will not be allowed if the lunch by Dato' Boh Hong aims to directly influence the overdraft application process. Next. If CCRIS check on Dato' Boh Hong has shown that he had issued check from Harimau Bank Berhad, we should determine the reason why the check have been bounced, because it might be some technical issues such as post date, words and figures differ or signature not according to specimen. Ms. Liang Lui should remind and ask Dato' Boh Hong to make sure his check is written completely and correctly before proceeding. The bank also may need to provide training to bank staff on check writing and procedures to prevent future incidents. He may get charged fees and penalties by the cleaning house if he keeps making bounce checks. Next. In this slide has shown the four forms of security of collateral. Triple S Bank Berhad could consider to use protect its interest pertaining to the additional overdraft facilities. The first of collateral, corporate guarantee. Other companies will be liable for the repayment on the loan or overdraft facilities if it agrees to guarantee for the borrower. When the borrower defaults, the guarantor company will be responsible and able to repay the outstanding balance of the borrower's loan or overdraft facility. The second is land properties. Land for commercial, residential, and manufacturing purpose of the borrower where its value is assessed individually are valuable assets that banks can seize given that the borrower fails to repay the loan or overdraft. Next, personal guarantee, where the borrower agrees to be personally liable and who give out personal assets in the case that the overdraft is not repaid at the end of the agreement. Personal guarantee is also a form of collateral for small amounts of loans. And the last is fixed deposit. Fixed deposit is a type of deposit account that allows customers to earn interest on their savings. Banks would have the right to hold the fixed deposit or the borrower until he or she repaid the loan or overdraft facility. If the borrower failed to repay it, the bank could use the amount it holds in the borrower's deposit account to cover the outstanding balance. In conclusion, for Dato' Bohong case, to finalize the loan process, the AAA Bank Berhad should request land and fixed deposits as collateral before approving of his overdraft and existing loan. This is as land properties have high market value and the deposits can be easily turned into cash, which ensure the financial security of the bank and reduce risk. So that's all for the presentation. Thank you.